So Gabrielle, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off by asking you, what inspired you to be a model?
I was an artist first, and I started modeling for the art world, and from there I wanted to know how I could push the limits of modeling. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. So have you done some modeling before?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've been modeling with an agency for 3 years in the Twin Cities.
Oh, that's excellent. So do you have a dream runway that you want to be a part of?
Oh my goodness, who doesn't? Well, I really love the Dior collections. I love that it's a woman-run house, so I think it would be a really cool opportunity to walk for Dior if I could pick any famous runway ever. But I'm also a vegan, and so I think it'd be really fun to just be a part of as many vegan fashion movements as possible.
Wow, that's really
my
inspiring.
goal, I guess.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. How about an ultimate fashion city that you want to go and visit, or that you've already visited?
It's difficult to answer because I visit France a lot, but I never get to see Paris in the fashion world. So even though I'm very familiar with the city, I don't feel like I have learned everything there is to learn about it. So I think I would still pick Paris, fashion capital, obviously.
Yeah. I hear that a lot, actually.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure.
So who's your favorite fashion model?
My favorite fashion model, I think my favorite fashion model is Binks Walton. I really like her street style. I really like her vibe. I like that she's private and not a super sharer on social media, and she just comes across as a real person. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing you tonight on the runway.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for being a part of our show.
Thank you for talking with me today. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, Gabrielle. All right, now we have Logan. Welcome to our show, Logan.
Thank you.
Okay, and so I'll start off by asking you, I know that you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of a band, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and what kind of music do you play?
Play the 80s styled hard rock, kind of like Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
Okay. And now you're a model.
Yeah.
How exciting. So, what would you describe your fashion sense as?
Definitely more the rock edge, because that's what I kind of grew up with, the music, and I always like that image, so that's what I try and do personally. Yeah.
And do you have a dream runway that you want to be a model?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment?
Yeah.
Have you done traveling before?
Yeah, I went to Chicago a few weeks ago. I've gone to Florida a few times, but I went to Chicago for modeling purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a favorite model that you look up to?
I guess Ashton Kutcher. I like the Calvin Klein look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so what inspired you to be a model? Because you're an artist, and well, you still are an artist, but what inspired you to be both?
I think mainly it was when Maggie approached me, because I've never really thought about it, but as soon as she asked me, I wanted to try it, and I fell in love with it. I guess it's just something that grew on me after she introduced me to it.
Great. Well, thank you for being a part of our show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So we have Prentice on our show today. We'd like to welcome him. And I'll start by asking you, how long have you been modeling?
I've been modeling for maybe 3-4 months. I actually modeled when I was in 9th grade. I'm 33 now, so I modeled when I was in 9th grade for maybe a month, and then I was just a little too shy for it.
So what inspired you to come back to modeling?
Maggie found me when I was at work, when I was working over the summer, and at the time I had gone through a breakup, and I was the type of person that kind of hold myself back because I'm just nervous to do stuff. So this is just one of the things where I was just I'm kind of done holding myself back, and just why not try it and go for it.
Great, I'm really glad to hear that. So a lot of people might be inspired by your story. Do you have an ultimate dream runway that you want to be a part of?
It would be cool to do the runways in New York, the top big fashion week. Even just an experience, it would be cool. I don't even have to do a runway.
And what would you describe your fashion sense as?
My fashion sense would be swag, upscale,
I like that.
unique, confident.
Good confidence is definitely a necessity. Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for being part of our show. We really appreciate that, Francis. Well, welcome Nicole to our show. This is our next fashion model. Thank you for being a part of our show.
Thank you for having me.
So what inspired you to be a model?
Well, I've always wanted to be a model, like ever since I was like 5 years old watching America's Next Top Model, but I never thought I could until when I was in college about like 3 or 4 years ago. One of my friends was doing a photography class and she asked me to model for her, and then ever since then I joined like Facebook groups for models and just started getting shoots.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so who's your favorite like model?
Favorite model? Probably Tyra Banks. Yeah. Of course, Queen. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. And what would you describe your fashion sense as? Because I see the purple hair, it looks really nice.
Thank you. I have to switch back and forth. I can be dressy, heels, dresses. I can be casual, jeans, sneakers. I like to just switch it up. However I'm feeling that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's nice. And like, where would your ultimate like dream fashion city be?
Milan, probably. Yeah. I would love to go there, or New York. Like
Have you been to New York before?
No, I have not.
Maybe you can go there as a model.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for being part of our show. We really appreciate that. So we have Mawada on our show today. Welcome, Mawada.
Hi.
What does Mawada mean?
It's my grandmother's name. I don't really think it has much of a meaning.
What language is it?
Pella?
Pella? Okay, and where is Pella from?
So Pella, well, the Pella tribe is like a tribe in West Africa, Liberia.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's a cool name, Mawada, you know? So what inspired you to be a fashion model?
I'm not really sure. It just seems like a fun job to do.
And what would you describe your fashion sense as?
Grandma. A lot of bright colors, a lot of gold jewelry. Yeah, a little bit 90s inspired. Yeah. And a lot of cool and colorful socks. I love my socks.
Oh, nice. I like colors as well, like bright colors. So yeah. And how about your favorite, like, or a model an inspirational model that you look up to?
Does it have to be a model?
No, it doesn't have to be. But since you're a model, I thought maybe you have a model that you want to be like.
Honestly, I love Lupita Nyong'o. Like, I know she's not a model, but I just love her.
She could be.
She really could be.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, she is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just love her so much and what she stands for and what she represents.
I agree.
And she's just so gorgeous and beautiful, and I just love her. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being a part of our show.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Well, we have William back with us today. Thank you for coming back, William, and being a part of our show. I wanted to know, like, what inspired you to be a model?
I was often told growing up, like, oh, you're so handsome, oh, you're so... And I could never gauge how much of that was politeness versus, like, actual, good looks. And I was somewhat overweight growing up, and so having come out of that now, I really, I'm kind of proud of where I am, and I want to bring that out and show that off. And especially, when it comes to the sort of fashion and the style that we're doing, I like being able to put something together like the jacket or the new pair of jeans or a new coat or scarf, and like kind of show that off and show off how that makes me look good, and not just how that piece of clothing looks good. Yeah,
I'm glad that you actually mentioned being overweight. How important is diversity when it comes to like fashion and being a model?
There's kind of been a push for a lot of more variety in models lately. And I just think it's important that you show real people. Like, I'm, having come into this recently, like, one of the first things that people were talking about was dieting. And that's, like, just, like, such a scary buzzword in my head is, like, dieting. Because I'm like, I love food. I go home and I cook. I work in a restaurant. I love talking to the chefs about when to put garlic in the dish, and I wouldn't want to give that up. And I know that there's people like me out there who are also interested in fashion and modeling and looking good and feeling good about how you look. And so I'm glad that I can bring this to the table and people still want to see me up there. So
for sure.
That feels really good. And I hope that seeing somebody like me up there who's, by no means 130-pound beautiful guy. Hopefully that makes other people feel more confident about the way they look too.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very inspiring. Thanks for actually mentioning that. And I know you've done a bit of traveling. Where is your dream fashion city?
Yeah. You asked me this on a previous day, and I said Milan just kind of off the top of my head. And I've had a little bit of time to think about it. My answer is still definitely Milan. I was there touring with my high school band 2 odd years ago, and I just loved it. It was a really distinct city, the few Italian ones I visited up north there. And growing up, I would hear about Milan because I lived next to a fashion designer who would go there on weekends and things, and it was kind of like a mystical place. And then I got to see it, and I was just captivated. That Cathedral Square, I can still picture it very vividly. I'd love to go back there and be around those types of people again. Yeah.
Who knows? You might model on the Milan fashion runway.
That would be pretty incredible. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So, what would you describe your fashion sense as?
For a long time, and I think still today, it was about accentuating the features that I had that were good, and so that's to me been like a jawline, and I would go for sharp and kind of angular things, and I always thought more formal was better, right? So if you ask me what I think I look best in, it's probably the white shirt, the suit coat, the red scarf, maybe the overcoat, something like that, something formal that way. But lately I've been trying to branch out a little bit, going more for the leather jacket. Thanks to Maggie, I have a wonderful pair of blue jeans now that I feel great in, and that's kind of a change for me.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to exploring that field.
It looks good on you. And you ready for the fashion runway tonight?
As ready as I could be for my first one, I suppose. Yeah, it's been a real treat to figure things out and get to see what it's really like. Because this is the real deal. But it's also me and Maggie looking at things and spaces, and that feels really nice to be a part of that in that way. I'm not just a cog in a machine. We're all part of it.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for being part of our show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.